Welcome to the Griffin's Coaches Show. I'm Sport Information Director Ben Zare, and I'm joined today by cross-country head coach Chris Butler. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Good. So before we get into this season and the success your team has had so far, let's just talk a little bit about last year's performance and your overall thoughts on how the team did.
Yeah, I think last year it was really a completely new team from my first year here. So it was a lot of kids learning how to run and kind of just the basics of cross country. So I felt like when we came into this year, we were going to be set up pretty well because we spent last year really kind of learning how to run, how to pace, do some of those things. But we also knew that those kids were all going to be coming back for the most part. And that was the exciting thing to see the progression over time. Because when I first came here, most of the kids we had were upperclassmen that we literally had for a semester and then were gone.
And before you talk about the kind of returns you've had, before we get into those two meets, what did you see out of the practices and stuff like that, where you returned 4 or 5 on one side, you bring in 2 new men? What did you see that you really liked about this group?
I think what I saw that was great is the team chemistry. I mean, cross country is a little bit different than track and field. It's a little bit more of the team aspect, and our kids really, when one kid finishes the workout, they're right there cheering on the next kid. And I think that's so important because when you're in a race and there may be 50, 100, 200 people out there, if your teammates are not kind of with you in that same mindset, it's very difficult to be successful as a team. And our guys are there cheering on the girls when they're racing. The girls are cheering on the guys. And I think as we grow more, as a program and as a team, that's really going to pay dividends down the road.
And it has so far paid off, at least at the Western Illinois Early Bird and the National Catholic Invite. You had some really strong performances, not only on the women's side, on the men's side. Who or what really stood out for you in those 2 meets?
We always try to, unfortunately, we lost the meet at Forest Park that WashU runs. It was hard to find one that is those distances. We run a 6K on the men's side and a 4K on the women's, the first meet to kind of ease them into the season. And it's always good to get those freshmen kind of just get their legs out there, experience what a race is like. And I think that was the thing that really surprised me is the returners really came out and they knew what to do. It wasn't like last year, we're kind of like holding hands and trying to figure out how to get through the stretch and get warmed up and do those things. We got to the line and we were ready to go. And, and I think the first one, you always got to get the butterflies out. You don't know how well summer went. Because, our kids, they have a summer program, but you don't know how much they're doing because at the end of the day, they're college kids and they have jobs and so forth. So the big progression from week 1 to the second meet, I guess the first week to the second meet, was tremendous. And I felt like that confidence level starting to build. And as we have those little steps to success, it's kind of building as a group too. Now they start to feel like they can go into races and compete with everybody.
And competed, they were rewarded with their competition, especially one on the women's side and one on the men's side, with Katie Gosser, a 5-minute PR, 3rd all-time record time in the 5K at 19:57, something like that. And Jacob Dixon performed very well at the National Catholic Invite as well, and the SLIAC awarded them Runners of the Week. Talk a little about what those two meant to the program.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Jacob. Jacob is actually transferring. He'll be freshman, obviously, eligibility-wise here. He is, without a doubt, an outstanding kid. I've never had a freshman come in and be a captain of our team. And he's one of our captains. He's also a SAC representative. The things that he's done maturity-wise are just beyond what most freshmen are capable of. Running-wise, he has a lot more in the tank. I don't think we've seen the best of Jacob Dixon yet. He will tell you he had a bad race. And a lot of that is just the atmosphere in Notre Dame. When you're young and you're going up there and there's TV cameras from the ACC network and you've got all these, powerhouse Division I programs, it becomes a little daunting, when you're used to maybe racing a little bit lower key meets. And so he did really well in that performance. And the biggest thing I would say for him comes from a wrestling background. So you can see that mentality come out in a meet. We were in the last 250 meters of the race. He passed 4 kids in the last 250. We always talk about as a program, do not lose a race in the shoots. There's a lot of faster runners sometimes, but what we want to do is put ourselves in a position to be successful at the end of the race. And for the most part, I think all of our kids do a great job of that. We generally do not lose those races in that last 250 meters.
And it looks like things are continuing to improve as the season progresses. The first meet, you kind of saw where you were. In the second meet, you take some big steps. Now here we go to the third meet. We're going to Austin Peay in Clarksville, Tennessee, I believe. So now you're taking the steps each time. Are you expecting this team to take another step towards, as the season progresses, to continue to get better? But after a big meet like Notre Dame, now you're going to see this team taking a bigger step.
Yeah, you know, and that's always I guess the fear is you may have a letdown after having such a high-end intensity meet. And in general, we never do meets back-to-back weekends. We generally go every 2 weeks. This was kind of something new. We have Hayden Yates from Nashville, Tennessee, so this was a chance for him to kind of run closer to home to see his family. So it's a new course. We haven't been on this course. I think we'll have pretty good success because looking at the teams that are going to be in this race, there's a very good mix. You've got one of the top Division I programs in Middle Tennessee State. You know, of course, you got Austin Peay, Memphis. You know, so those are going to be some of the big dogs. But then there's other schools like Oakland City, which is a small Division II, University of South, schools that I feel like we can go in and line up head-to-head and compete with. You know, so I'm excited to kind of see where we are as a team and hopefully just continue to progress. You know, we talk all the time for us, it's really about raising the bar. You know, our idea and our concept and our program is a process, and we don't necessarily worry about what all the other teams are doing. We worry about, all right, where's our best time and where do we get to get better? You know, at the end of the day, I was telling them, look back 4 years from now, you're going to be amazed at what you accomplish. But if you start doing that right now, then you just kind of lose sight of what the goal is. And so for us, it's really about getting better each week. Getting ready for that SLAC championship at the end of October.
Nope. Coach, it all sounds great, and good luck this weekend at Austin Peay. We appreciate you coming on today. The team will be back in action this Saturday at Austin Peay. You can follow a full recap of that on FontaneGriffins.com. You can also follow all our teams on FontaneGriffins.com and our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages.